episode, The Lost Tale, Evolutionary Remnant, or a Memory the Body Can't Forget. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stranger Than Fiction, where we explore the weird and wonderful truths of the world. Today, we're diving into something that every human once had, but now exists only as a hidden trace within our bodies: a tail. Have you ever wondered why animals like monkeys have tails to swing through trees and balance themselves, while we humans have to walk on two legs, sometimes awkwardly wobbling like we're still figuring it out? Or maybe our tails never truly disappeared. Perhaps they're just playing hide and seek, tucked away in our coccyx, waiting for their chance to make a comeback? Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start with the scientific facts. During early development in the womb, every human embryo actually does have a tail. Around the 4th to 6th week of gestation, the embryo develops a structure called the tail bud, an extension of the lower spine that grows to about 2 to 3 millimeters in length. If you've ever seen illustrations of human embryos in biology textbooks, you'd notice they look like a mix between a tadpole and a baby monkey, with a clearly visible tail. However, by the 8th week, things start to change. The cells in the tail bud begin to be absorbed back into the body, and what's left behind becomes the coccyx, or tailbone, a small structure made up of 4 to 5 fused vertebrae at the base of the spine. In medical terms, this is known as the coccyx, and while it no longer wags like an actual tail, it serves as a reminder of our evolutionary past. The coccyx itself is solid proof that we once had tails. If we take this even more seriously, evolutionary biologists suggest that mammalian tails, including ours, can be traced back to reptiles 300 million years ago. Originally, tails were essential for balance, movement, and in some species like monkeys, even grasping objects, acting as a third hand. However, when humans began to diverge from the hominid group, great apes, around 20 million years ago, our tails gradually shrank. Why? Because we started walking upright. Standing on two legs made tails unnecessary. If anything, they became a hindrance. So in evolutionary terms, it's as if nature decided to put the tail away in a drawer. But here's the fascinating part. Our tails didn't completely vanish. Biologically speaking, the coccyx still has tiny ligaments and muscles that were once connected to a functional tail. Ever fallen and landed hard on your tailbone, feeling a sharp pain shoot through your lower back? That's your coccyx reminding you, I used to be a tail, don't mess with me. And while it no longer wags, the coccyx still serves a purpose. It acts as an anchor point for pelvic muscles, aiding movement and stability. But the big question is, could it ever grow back into a tail? The answer is, probably not. But scientifically speaking, it's not entirely impossible. When I say it's not impossible, I mean it. Because there's real evidence that sometimes our ancient genes wake up without permission. In the medical world, this phenomenon is called a vestigial tail, a condition caused by a genetic anomaly during embryonic development, preventing the tail from fully retracting. Since the 19th century, over 100 cases have been recorded worldwide. Most of these tails are short, under 10 centimeters, and made of soft tissue. Some even contain nerves. One of the most recent cases was in India in 2019, where a newborn was born with a 5 centimeters long tail. Doctors had to remove it immediately, probably to prevent him from growing up and applying for Spider-Man instead of med school like his father. But for affected families, this isn't a laughing matter. In some cases, the tail is connected to the spinal nervous system, meaning a botched surgery could lead to mobility issues. From a scientific perspective, though, these cases are a window into our past. Researchers believe that these tails prove the genes responsible for tail growth still exist in our DNA. They're just switched off. Now imagine if we figured out how to turn that switch back on. This is where experimental research comes in. You've probably heard of CRISPR, the revolutionary gene editing technology, right? Scientists have actually used it on chicken embryos and successfully reactivated ancient genes to grow dinosaur-like tails. This experiment was conducted in 2015 by a team from Harvard University, and it worked. Now, what if we could do the same for humans? Of course, no one would actually dare to try. It would be a massive ethical violation. But just imagine, if humans had tails again, How would our lives change? Traffic congestion might improve. People could just hang from bus handles with their tails. Or at concerts, instead of raising our hands to wave, we could just wag our tails. Super convenient. But on a more serious note, losing our tails played a crucial role in human evolution. Anthropologists believe that standing upright and tail loss freed up our hands, allowing us to craft tools, hunt, and develop intelligence, ultimately making us the dominant species on Earth. Still, some argue that having tails might have been even better. Think about monkeys like gibbons or spider monkeys. Their tails give them incredible agility. Now imagine humans with tails at the Olympics. We could have events like tail pole vault or tail sprinting. That would be wild. Even more fascinating is how losing our tails is linked to changes in our spine. Compared to chimpanzees, our closest relatives, they have more flexible spines, partly because their tails once helped with balance. But as humans evolved to stand upright, our spines became stiffer to support this posture. And guess what? That's one reason we suffer from back pain so often. Or maybe when you feel discomfort after sitting too long, it's not just the hard chair. It could be your coccyx whispering, "I miss being a tail." In the end, the disappearing tail is a reminder of our past, a sign that we were once more deeply connected to nature. The coccyx hidden within us isn't just a fossil of evolution. It's proof that our DNA still remembers where we came from. So the next time you walk past a monkey swinging by its tail, take a good look, because that could be a reflection of what we once were, or what we might become again one day. Who knows? Thanks for tuning in. See you next time for another strange but true story. Don't forget to follow for more weird and fascinating topics. Until next time, goodbye.